Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of John's Chess Channel. Well, I haven't been here for a while. Today, we are going to look at a game I played with someone from chess.com. I actually found someone who was interested in playing me and posting the game online. This user is bxm1000. All right, they've been waiting quite eagerly for me to upload this game, so here we are. Now, I analyzed this game with some assistance from the chess analysis program, so let's go ahead and take a look. Me and this user played two games. We played one that was kind of short, and then we had a rematch and played another. So let's take a look at it. So this first game, I was black, and this person was white, and we played one of the daily games, so it wasn't like a live chess match. It was like a back and forth game. Generally, I prefer not to play those because, sometimes you kind of forget to move and then the game will, like, by default forfeit. Or, sometimes you might forget what you were planning, what kind of attack you were planning because you're not, like, in it at the time. But anyway, without further ado, let's take a look at this. So they played e4, all right, typical king-pawn opening. After that, I played c5. This is the Sicilian defense I played here. So then they played knight to f3. I countered that with knight c6. They played d4, and I played pawn captures d4. They followed up with knight takes d4. And then I played d6. Now, let me just say something. I know I was playing the Sicilian defense, but I don't know which variation or if d6 was part of book. I'm not somebody who just wants to analyze book moves, until I know like 1,000 book moves. I think that kind of takes away from the game. I'm just trying to have fun. I'm not worried about who can memorize the most book moves or who has less of a social life and is studying chess. No. This is why even sometimes I'll try to play like Fisher Random, Chess to 960, because you don't rely on book like that. So anyway, I played d6. This person played bishop b5. Okay, pinning my knight, obviously. And I played bishop to d7 because I don't like my knight being pinned. I mean, who does, right? And it was a double attack over here with their knight. They could have taken it, so I tried to avoid all that. So they captured. I captured back with the pawn, all right? So rather than capture with the bishop, I captured with the pawn, and hopefully I was hoping I can push the pawn up over here after that, okay? So they moved their pawn to c4. I moved my pawn to e5. I think this is nice because I'm getting good central position, and now the knight has nowhere to go other than to retreat, right? So they move back to knight to f3. I move my knight out. Nothing special there, just develop. Whoa, went a little too far. Nothing special, just developing it, just trying to clear room to castle. So they pin it, and like I said before, I don't really like being pinned, right? So I just move the bishop over to e7, and they capture my knight, and I capture back. All right, even exchange. I still like my position here, like, black kind of seems to be taking a lot of the board. I don't like being too condensed to, immobile. If you look at over here, I think it gives like an idea of who's winning, what the computer thinks in terms of, how much white is taking over this bar or how much black is taking over this bar. And we seem to be just about even over here. So far, so good. We're both doing pretty well with the opening. They develop their knight to c3. And I move my bishop to e6, obviously attacking this pawn over here, right? And I guess I was expecting them to do this, right? Open it up. They push their pawn instead, okay? So I push my pawn up instead of castling, because one thing about me, if you haven't seen it already, or maybe you'll see it in other games, I don't like my pawn structure getting sloppy. For some reason, I like to keep my pawn structure neat. I don't know, maybe it's just how I was first taught when I learned to play chess. keep your pawn structure neat. And that kind of works for me a lot of the times because I get a lot of passed pawns in my games, like a lot. So he captures, or he or she captures. I'm not sure this person's gender. And then I capture back. And then they move their knight to b5. Now that was interesting because as soon as they did that, the little bar for black kind of like jumped a lot. So they moved the knight to b5, and then what do you think I did? Well, you could probably already see it here, right? But I moved my queen to a5, put them in check, and fork them. And then after this, the user resigned because there's not really any way to salvage that. Because, let's see, if they try to move their knight over here, let's say, right? I can always just push the pawn up. And there's not really any way to stop that, really, right? I mean, I'm not sure there's anything that could be done for that. If anyone sees it, feel free to let me know, but this seems like the end for the most part. And some people don't like playing from losing positions, and, you know, I understand that. I'm not someone who really likes to play from a losing position myself. I'd rather just start a new game or whatnot. And that's another reason why I like playing live, because it just feels so bad to invest so much time and energy into a game and then, like, you lose, you know? That's why I just like speed games. You lose, okay, it might have sucked, but, you know, you play another one right after that. So anyway, this was our first game. I have a second game, and I'll pull it up. The second game went on a little longer, and let me pull it up now.